let's see. So, is there anything else we'd like to do while we're here? What if we take a quick look at the Presidium Commons? I don't necessarily think we have anything big, because we have, of course, been here previously. That guy looks a fair bit like Garrus. Very similar armor style. But we do have shops that we checked out previously. Just want to check. What is our money situation? Oh, 82,000 is not bad. That's almost enough for some pretty big things. Notably, right now, we are lacking quite a bit when it comes to SMGs, and so you could potentially make the case that purchasing an SMG might be kind of a nice thing to do. Also, shotguns, we are still just relying on our starting shotgun at the moment, so getting a better shotgun might be kind of nice as well, but I think we'll delay that for the time being, just because right now we are... Oh, that's just fast travel. We are getting close.
I don't know. A text message is so impersonal. He's off risking his life. He deserves more than that.
Oh, gosh.
I could record something, but I hate leaving vid messages. I always get flustered.
Maybe you need a script.
Or maybe I need to get him on a vid call so I can do it face to face.
Who knows when he'll be deployed somewhere with an open comm channel. He knew it'd be hard to communicate when he left you here.
So, her husband, apparently, her partner, is apparently fighting on the front lines. Meanwhile, this wife is speaking to a mistress. So I think we can put two and two together here and figure out what's happening. And let's just say I'm not impressed. Minus 10 respect points to you. So just wanted to see if there's anything obvious that we might want to purchase here while we are on the Citadel, and potentially see if there are people to talk to, like Dr. Michelle, like Dr. Chakwas, and what have you. And one person that we did not catch last time we were here, I don't think, was Liara.
Still working?
One call leads to another, and here I was hoping I'd have time to enjoy the view. The last time I saw the Presidium, remember how it was all rubble after Sovereign attacked?
Yeah, hard to forget. Mass Effect 1?
I barely got to see the Presidium before half of it got crushed.
And by the time they repaired it, it was time for the next invasion.
Yes, that's true.
Citadel hasn't seen the reality of this war yet. We should stock up on necessities while we can.
Such as?
EZO, heavy arms, mercenary groups.
The usual, you know, whenever we're stopping by the Citadel, we should pick up on our mercenary groups. Understandable.
We'll get the people. Take a moment for yourself now and then.
I know. But there's always just one more task or meeting. Speaking of which, talk to the Volus, Barlavon. He'll point you to some mercenaries willing to join us.
Okay. I suppose we can certainly do that. We get some reputation from that talk as well. So that's good stuff. I think we might have missed Liara previously on our prior trips to the Citadel. So all the more reason to make a point of chatting with her here. Barlavon is over in this direction. We did chat with him before, but perhaps now, after Liara sort of opened a little doorway for us, metaphorically speaking, Barlavon might have other things to talk about.
Commander Shepard. It's been some time. Barlavon, in case you've forgotten. Financial advisor. And an acquaintance of Admiral Anderson.
Indeed.
I admire the courage it took for him to stay and fight on your home world.
Yeah, I remember you.
You used to be an agent for the Shadow Broker.
I still am. The broker has been exceedingly busy lately. A team of his guards have become stranded in a Reaper-controlled territory.
Never mind, he doesn't know who the actual Shadow Broker is.
Rescue the guards, and they're yours. The Shadow Broker fully supports your efforts against the Reapers.
Do they now? Okay, well, thank you.
I appreciate the information.
Just don't wait too long to act on it. The Reapers are advancing all too quickly. Come see me once you've completed the extraction. I'll be in my office a while longer. The galactic market is in considerable flux.
I bet it is. So, there it is, journal update. Citadel Barlavon. Let's take a look, and, if you can take advantage of those fluctuations, buy low, sell high, I'm sure you can make a whole lot off that. So let's see, what is the deal here? Barlavon has provided the location of Shadowbroker forces trapped in the Dranic system inside the Krogan DMZ. Recruit them to the war effort and return to Barlavon. Okay. Sure. Sounds simple enough. So as I was starting to say before, at 82,000 credits, we're close to being able to afford some key upgrades here, but we're just not quite there yet. I think there are some things that cost 75,000 that are really good, so we could potentially do that, but there's also something that I think costs either 150 or 175 that is really, really good, that is probably our top priority, and so we are not yet at the point where we can make that happen, so I think we just try to wait it out a little bit longer before we start to spend stuffs. So we did buy a little bit to get the Acolyte and what have you, and so that's really our holdover. Okay, so I think we're just looking to head out at this stage then. So I suppose we can take a quick check to see if there's anyone hanging out around here that we might wish to chat with. Excuse me, Keeper.
There you are.
Sorry, honey. I didn't want you to
Oh.
worry. Chances are,
Like, say,
put on armor.
Miranda Lawson? Why, hello there. Another one of our teammates from Mass Effect 2.
Commander Shepard. It's been far too long.
Indeed.
We live in interesting times.
A little too interesting.
I couldn't get anywhere near you when the Alliance had you locked up.
Relieved of duty. It was complicated.
I'm sure it was. I'm surprised they didn't court-martial you. The Alliance isn't known for its flexibility.
Doesn't matter now.
Shepard, about Earth.
It didn't look good. It did not look good, Miranda.
Countless people lost their lives within minutes. The Reapers are everything we feared.
They should have listened to you a long time ago. I'm sorry, Shepard.
What about you? What brings you here?
I need to talk to a few people. Like you. The Citadel is a good place to meet. For now. What's the Alliance's next move?
We have a plan. It's a long shot.
Not surprising. Shepard? There's something I wanted to mention.
Okay.
What is it?
I haven't heard from my sister, Oriana, for a while. I'm getting worried.
Your sister?
Yes. I don't want to overreact, but... well, there's a lot going on.
I thought we made sure she was safe.
Back in
We
Mass
did.
Effect 2. Your
It's
loyalty
probably
mission.
nothing, but I just know my father is involved.
What
Ooh.
happened?
I don't know. Everything I had in place to make sure she was safe went dark.
So that was Miranda's loyalty mission back in Mass Effect 2, where we helped to rescue her sister from her father, who has been, overprotective, to say the least. So, is there anything we can do to help?
What do you need from me?
I appreciate the offer, Shepard, but you have your hands full. If I need a door or two kicked down, I know just who to call. But for now, I'll be fine.
You sure about that?
Okay. I understand.
I have to figure this out.
I mean, it sounds like you could use a hand.
You will.
Like, what exactly have you been up to?
It's been a long time. What happened to you?
I've been in hiding. Being on the run from just about everyone isn't as glamorous as it sounds.
I didn't know.
It's all right. I knew there would be repercussions to walking away from Cerberus.
Oh,
I
that's
imagine.
true.
You're a dangerous enemy.
I am.
Okay, so in that case, where exactly do things stand with you in Cerberus? Of course, she was a pretty high-ranking Cerberus employee, and then at the end of Mass Effect 2, she decided to quit. Very dramatically, and, you know, the elusive man tends not to be the most forgiving of people.
Have you had any run-ins with the elusive man?
Just once. He said it had been a pleasure to work with me.
And then he tried to
But
kill
he
you.
needed to contain the situation.
Contain the situation. Sounds final.
It nearly was. He doesn't take rejection well.
No, he does not.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so then what is this with your father potentially trying to track down your sister again, Oriana?
Why do you think your father was involved in Oriana's disappearance?
I kept careful tabs on my sister. I always knew where she was. For her to just vanish, it could only be him. After I hid her away, I still knew he'd stop at nothing to find her. She's all he has left. I have a hunch what happened, but I'll fill you in when I'm certain.
Okay. Then, so any additional leads while you've been here on the Citadel? I mean, if you are on the run, this is a place where I'm sure you would get a lot of attention, so you gotta be careful around here.
If you're looking for a lead here, anyone associated with Cerberus will be hard to find.
No question, but I'm owed a few favors. Someone here will give me a tip on Oriana.
Okay. Well, that is all we can chat with you about for now. Certainly good to see Miranda again, though. Of course, wish she was doing a little bit better, but nowadays, I suppose, everyone has a lot of stuff going on, and the Reapers are not going to make matters easy on us.
I've got to get back to it.
And I should get out of sight.
Be careful.
No promises.
Alright, Miranda. If you insist, but Codex updated on Miranda, of course. We know her well. But I believe that may be the last of the people we would like to chat with at the moment. So, let's head back to the Normandy then. Okay, and now, take a look at our journal here. So we do have many side quests that are involving us basically tracking something down for people. And so, in theory, those may not be too difficult for us to complete, and we could even try to go for some of those now. That's not out of the question. Although, we also have some bigger stuff. So, I mean, Priority Surkesh is the primary thing that we would be considering doing now. And Grissom Academy perhaps being the other relatively large mission that we would consider doing right about now as well. So those would be the things at or near the top of our list. Let's just see if we were to go for one of the smaller things. Is there anything that is obvious where we would want to do that? There are some things with Arya on the Citadel where she wants us to talk to some peoples involved with the various mercenary groups, so we could have done that while we were still in the Citadel, but I mean, probably going to be back there at some point in the not so distant future. So let's see, things like, for example, the Book of Plenix, the Pillars of Strength, and the Kite's Nest, things like that. We might be able to do Ismar Frontier prototype components. Those types of things, we might be able to scan a little bit and find some stuff for people. So let's leave the Citadel. And let's see, we were to... That's where Priority Surkesh is. Apian Crest, I believe, is where the Turian homeworld is Menet. So we were here previously, and that would explain why there's currently a Reaper positioned right on top of it. But we did not explore neighboring areas, I don't think, so it might be worth taking a quick check over here. Okay, so notably, we do not see any percentages of resources collected. I mean, I assume that we've collected everything here because we're talking about an area that we've already been to. I would hope that there may just not be anything here at all. Actually, did we Did we get automatically teleported to Mene? Were we actually exploring this area at all? I don't remember, to tell you the truth. Maybe we'll circle back here on a later occasion, but we have the Castellus system over there, at the very least, that we might check out. Let's just see if there are other places we might want to check. Yes, there are. There's Gamay. Looks like it might just be those two. I think it's just those two. So why don't we start with Castellus and see what we can find over here. How far is it? I mean, it's basically a triangle. So we know there's an intense Reaper presence here. So we are expecting that this might fill up rather quickly. Oh, I heard something here. And if you hear something when you're flying over it, that means you should definitely scan there. And as this is in an asteroid belt, that shouldn't come as much of a surprise. But I think this system is going to get overrun with Reaper attention very quickly.
I found something.
How quickly, you ask? Reasonably quickly. Alright, let's investigate. See, it's wreckage for fuel. And that gets us back up to 1,000, so, I mean, that's nice, but probably like to be looking for bigger things. So we're at 50% assets recovered right now. So that means there's one more thing here. There's Iritum, the planet. That could be something worth checking out. There's Heox. There's Nios. And there's Digeris. I don't know, take your guess. I'm gonna go for Digerix. And good guess. Just double check. Reapers are interested, but not here just yet. So Digeris is a hospitable homeworld to dextroamino acid-based life, like the Turians. This Turian colony was famous, until recently, for being the site of the bloodiest battle in Turian history. During the Krogan rebellions, a warlord named Graken Dahl took the fight to Palvan's home cluster, bombarding the modestly defended Digeris. Yeah, remember, this is close to the Turian homeworld. That makes sense that there'd be a pretty significant Turian presence here as well. When reinforcements came to intercept him, Dahl's navy put their rear to Digeris so that stray shots would hit the planet. The Turians won despite this severe handicap, using countless fighters and cruisers to take down the Krogan dreadnoughts. Today, the Turian fleet holds Digeris in a stalemate. The Reapers, concentrating on Palvan and elsewhere, sent a relatively light force to take the planet, which the Turians repelled. The Turians stand guard at Digeris, while the Reapers travel throughout the system, destroying targets of opportunity until reinforcements arrive. So the colony was founded a long time ago. 381 BCE, 1.9 billion people. We were seeing earlier that one of the first human colonies had just a few million people, which seemed very strange. Of course, humans are much newer to the galactic community than the Turians are, so it means this planet got colonized a lot quicker than, was it Terra Nova we were talking about for the humans? Might have been. So that makes some sense. But, otherwise, light atmosphere, comfortable pressure, or rather comfortable temperature, a little bit light on the gravity as well, but there's something here for us to check out. And that something is right here. Lost and found. We're getting closer to finishing that. Artifacts, Banner of the 1st Regiment. Okay. So, if you're wondering what that is, if we exit real quick here, and we look, Apian Crest, we went to the Apian Crest, Banner of the 1st Regiment. A Turian officer needs the Banner of the 1st Regiment to inspire his troops, recover it from Castellus in the Apian Crest, and deliver it to him at Purgatory on the Citadel. So in theory, we could have known definitively that Castellus was the place we were looking to go to, but we found it, and it was the group of Turians that were right next to James at the bar. So we've now picked that up, and 100% assets recovered over here, so we are likely looking to head back. We are, I believe, at 100 fuel, or 1,000 out of 1,000 fuel after loading up on one of these asteroids, so we might be able to go straight for Gamay here. Gonna be kind of close. Is a bit of a trek. There we go. All right. Whoa! Okay. That star is kind of big. It's kind of big. Let's check out Firos over here.
Signal confirmed.
And there is... Oh my goodness. There is something there. In fact, there are multiple things here. But it is alarming how quickly that meter filled. Let's see, this looks like fuel. A whole lot of fuel. So we will definitely be fine then. And then this is, well, more fuel. We didn't really need on that occasion. But as for Firos... Not to be confused with Firos in Mass Effect 1, but Firos is an asteroid towed near the Class B Blue Giant. This is an asteroid? It looks huge for an asteroid. Towed near the Class B Blue Giant, and giant indeed, Gemme, to serve as a terrestrial military base in a system devoid of planets. A vast array of solar collectors absorb energy from the star and beam it to receptors near the tidally locked asteroid's terminator zone. Beneath the surface, dozens of particle accelerators generate anti-protons for starship fuel. Reapers sent a substantial force to Gemme's system, but found that the Turians were capable and prepared to defend their Armada's fuel source. Warning messages say the Reapers are still present in the system, awaiting reinforcements. Maybe that's why they got very interested as soon as we launched a single scan. At present, the Turians can still refuel, but only because they committed forces here that could otherwise have defended Palvin. Yeah, serious opportunity costs. That means, you know, of course you would ideally love to just have all of your forces on your homeworld to protect it, but at the same time, you need to protect your resources so that you can funnel those to the rest of your troops, and that is certainly the case here with their fuel stations. So, okay, let's start the scanner then. And what will we find this time? Turian 79th Flotilla. It's a war asset. So, I mean, we've seen in the past, sometimes those war assets that we scan for are just huge. So that's pretty sweet, and fortunately, 100% assets recovered in this area because, well, needless to say, one more scan would certainly get the attention of the Reapers. So let's head back. We could try scanning here. Of course, this is, as I said, this is where Palvin is. So, thought we had scanned everything when we did the Palvin mission, but maybe we just launch a quick scan here. Okay, and no, there doesn't appear to be anything here, and the Reapers just don't care if we're scanning in this area, it seems. So, in that case, let's jump back out, and so we could try to do other things kind of like that, just do little scans here or there if we have specific spots that we know we are looking to scan stuff, like Kite's Nest was what, the Pillars of Strength, I think, was here, because this is, I think, where the Batarian homeworld is. Which is, I mean, looking for comparison's sake. Apian Crest is where the Turian homeworld is, and Ospacion is where the Solarian homeworld is. So you can see they're kind of neighbors. They're in the same general area. The local cluster, which we cannot visit, but that's where the humans are from, is like here-ish, I think, somewhere in this general area. And then Batarian homeworld is over here, and generally the humans and the Batarians have been trying to colonize this area of the galaxy, and that's why the humans and the Batarians have been at each other's throats, trying to compete over the same planets for colonization. So let's see if we can find anything interesting here in the Kite's Nest. Okay, so we have Harsa. Let's see, there may be other systems. Before we start scanning here, I'd just like to confirm. Now, we have Untrail over there, so we have at least one other system. I feel like, generally speaking, if we have multiple systems, I would prefer to start scanning on the more distant system that is not the one that has the mass relay in it, because if the system with the mass relay in it gets overrun by Reapers, then that is perhaps a little bit trickier for us to make our way out. So let's head back over here. We are not on full fuel, but I think we'll be fine because we are almost full fuel This shouldn't be too long of a trip. Okay. The other thing that affects how quickly a scan attracts Reaper attention, I believe, is how many connections a system has to the rest of the cluster. And so in this case, with just one connection, this shouldn't be too quick to fill up. But let's see, if we go around the asteroid belt and we're listening closely for that little extra dinging sound effect, we can know if there's anything in this asteroid belt, which would be helpful, because then we could potentially save a scan, when otherwise we might be feeling like we have to scan the entire length of the galaxy, and or the entire circumference of the asteroid belt, and that's not going to be very efficient. Hear anything there? No. Like, I don't think I heard anything. So that's good to know, that I don't think we should waste scans on that stuff, because we might just miss things altogether. So this Ooza over here is definitely far enough away that I'm not sure we're definitely not going to be able to scan anything else if we commit a scan to that. We're close. We have Eska, and we have a deck. These two are close enough, I feel like we might be able to combine a scan here.
I found something.
Oh! Ooh. That filled up much faster than I was hoping it would fill up. That's not good. What do we have here? It's wreckage for some more fuel. I mean, it's a bit of a fuel refund, sure, but we are definitely not going to be getting to scan everything, because there's no way we got to scan a deck, and if we do another scan here, we're definitely going to get Reaper attention again. We can theoretically, we can escape when the Reapers have already flooded this system, but of course it gets complicated, and technically the Reapers are coming from this angle, which is unfortunate because that's the direction we'd like to go in. So if we have one more scan, we'd like to be very judicious where we use it. We have Ooza, and Ooza is a methane-rich gas giant. The wreckage around the Helium-3 infrastructure is unusual. It looks as if fleeing Batarians tried to sever the collection equipment and take it with them when they were attacked. No Reaper ships, functional or otherwise, are immediately detectable, suggesting that the Batarians may have actually turned on each other instead. Okay. Let's read a bit about these planets that we did scan. Close. Close is a rock planet with almost no atmosphere to speak of. Consequently, the planet retains fairly little heat considering how close it orbits to an energetic star. Relatively mild temperature made Close attractive for robo-mining, with an emphasis on platinum. The planet also has an abundance of sodium oxide used in the manufacture of lye, but profit margins on that compound are thin by comparison. Reapers have destroyed the orbital stations surrounding Close and cut the strands of the space elevators that earlier generations of Batarians used to transport goods to orbit. It's 88 degrees Celsius. I mean, it's certainly not the temperature that you would like to have an organic being hanging out on, but I suppose robo-mining is not terrible. Okay, then we have innermost planet is Eska. According to Batarian propaganda, the Batarian population exceeds the Council races, the Batarian military is the most powerful, and the Batarians' unlivable hothouse planets are the hottest and most unlivable. Their best proof of this last point is Eska, which closely orbits the scorching yellow-white star Untrell. Eska's nitrogen-heavy atmosphere might once have held oxygen, but if so, it burned off long ago. Even robo-miners don't care for Eska. Although some modern mining equipment can withstand the heat, the machinery still gets stuck in the soup of molten light metals on the planet's surface. Reaper presence near Eska seems light. Scans reveal wreckage orbiting the planet, likely destroyed hegemony surveillance drones. Oh boy! Yeah, it's hot. It's hot, alright. It's 1,144 degrees Celsius. I'm trying to think if we've ever seen anything hotter than that in Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3. Definitely not in Mass Effect 1. Mass Effect 2, I remember there was 1 or 2 planets that were crazy hot, but I don't know if they got this hot. I know there was one that was at least in the 900s, but I'm not sure if we've seen anything break 1,000. I feel like there might have been one that was as high as 1,400 or 1,500 in Mass Effect 2, but I might be making that up. Lastly, we have a deck over here. The deck is a brutally hot and wet garden world, covered with molds and lichen analogs. It has many viruses and bacteria lethal to Batarian physiology. The Hegemony colonized a deck early in its expansion, but few of the colonists wanted to stay. The result was domination by a class of landed slave owners. A small cadre of well-paid engineers and skilled laborers kept the planet's mechs and infrastructure functioning. Alliance estimates put the planet's Batarian population just over 6 million. That's a pretty solid number, but that number has likely fallen since the Reapers arrived. It is 60 degrees Celsius, though. That's pretty hot. Pretty hot. So we have one more scan before the Reapers start flooding this place, and the question is, where do we do that scan? It's probably going to be either Ooza, or it's going to be back over here at a deck. I feel like this is a higher probability of giving us something, because I feel like the gas giants, for whatever reason, especially if they're all the way out here, are just getting the vibes that this is not as likely. The problem is that, well, this is going to be right where all the Reapers come from, and it is also right where we are hopefully looking to go to get out of here. Fortunately, I think we can, if we need to, exit. Yeah, we can exit from a different angle if necessary. So I think we scan and run. Okay. We scanned it, and we scanned correctly. This is the place that has something. So let's scan it, and then we're going to need to bolt. So let's see what the deal is. It's up, around, or down, around here. And this time, it looks like just some credits. Okay. Sure, I guess we'll take it, and now we got a bolt. Because here come the Reapers. Don't mind them, so here, we'll give them a little more time. They start slow, they speed up over time, and if we give them long enough, they actually will catch us. They will actually be able to outspeed us altogether. And if they do catch us, it's just game over. So that's no good. So the reason why I wanted to do that system first was because if the Reapers did rush our position and force us to flee the system, then we didn't really want to have to flee the system that had the mass relay in it. So now, however, we would like to take some time to check out this system as well. Let's check Speculos. I think we'll read about the plants first, and then we'll start scanning in case we perhaps get some hints. Speculos is a relatively large rock and ice planet known for its deposits of magnetically active periclates, which interferes with some starship scans. Conspiracy theories and pulp adventure claim that secret fortresses are concealed under the ice. Reaper invasion force appears to have passed the planet by, which is likely the only insight that organics will ever have into the Reaper's literary taste. Okay? They're not a fan of the Batarian myths. Yeah, it's quite cold. And so the Reapers do not believe the Batarian stories. And then we have Ilem, I assume that's IL? A tiny rock and ice planet that is now missing much of its ice. Ilem was part of a grand project by a hegemony dictator known as Grabosht the Mad. My guess is he was a little crazy. His aim was to drop enormous chunks of Ilem's ice on the surfaces of otherwise uninhabitable desert planets in the hopes of creating sustainable lakes and seas. Wiser heads than he pointed out that diverting a comet was more plausible, but Grabosht executed those who disagreed with him. Grabosht's career was surprisingly long given his loose grip on reality, mostly because his project employed large numbers of Batarians. Today, Ilem lies abandoned. The Gemini spy drones still orbit the planet, but it is doubtful anyone on Karshan is paying attention to what data they send back. And also, very cold, trace atmosphere, little to no gravity, so, not so enticing. Okay, let's check the big ringed planet, then we'll take a look at the asteroid belt, because, as I was about to say, we might want to just take a loop around the asteroid belt, see if we hear anything. And if we do, then we'll scan. If not, then we know it's probably not worth doing so. Okay, then we have Varus, which is a hydrogen-helium gas giant named for an ancient Batarian monarch whose empire spanned continents. He had such a penchant for mating that 0.6% of modern Batarians claim to trace their lineage to him. Sounds like, who's it? Genghis Khan? The planet moons are named after many of his recognized wives. The largest, Bira. I hope you're referring to the moon, not the largest of his wives. That would be, hope she didn't hear that. concealed protein runes that helps the Batarians develop FTL travel. Oh, interesting. It is a Batarian point of pride that since the runes were damaged by earthquakes, they had less information to go on than other spacefaring species, so they had to figure out more by themselves. The Reapers have destroyed all the obvious military outposts in Varus's orbit. The Batarians' notorious secrecy, however, may have allowed concealed subterranean facilities on Varus's moons to survive. Okay, well, maybe that paid off then. Right, now let's do our loop around the asteroid belt and just keep our ears peeled. Because I do hear something here. So there is an anomaly. Potentially multiple, in fact. Let's try to be close enough to Desda that we might get something there as well.
Signal confirmed.
Several things, in fact. Okay, how much do the Reapers care about this spot? I think we can safely fit in one more scan and we'll still be safe, and then 2 more, we'll definitely get the Reapers to invade. So Varus does have something, as does this asteroid belt here. I'm guessing, seems like the asteroids are usually giving us fuel, so maybe we start here. Let's see what Varus has. Let's start the scanner. And it will be... Oh, well, I mean, that's 10 out of 10 for Lost and Found. We have that achievement. Weapon upgrade kit intel, okay. That's interesting. That's the first time we've seen that. Okay, that's new. Then here, see, that said 33%, so that is good. That means that this will get us to 67, and then we just need one more thing. We just need to guess correctly for one more thing. Okay, it's wreckage. The wreckage of a fuel depot destroyed by enemy forces. Fuel can be salvaged from the debris, and we get 300 fuel, which is almost enough to top us off here. The next planet would be Karshan, which is the Batarian homeworld. So if I were to guess as to what we were looking to scan with our last safe scan here, then we probably would want to go for this. Karshan, the Batarian homeworld, is wrapped less in mystery than in outright lies. Batarian propaganda claims the world has 15 billion inhabitants and an economy that rivals the Asari. Although the legal slave trade does boost the Batarians' profits somewhat, Citadel sanctions have left a paper tiger of an empire, one that fights rivals through deniable terrorist actions rather than the wars of its heyday centuries ago. The Reapers will likely be the death blow to that empire, though. Almost no information has escaped Karshan since the Reapers destroyed the comm buoys, but Batarian refugees say that resistance has created a bond among the commoners. If a new government can arise from the ashes, that bond may sustain a new Batarian society. So, the Batarian homeworld, for what it's worth, has relatively low pressure compared to Earth, at least. That's a little on the hot side, 33 degrees Celsius, but that's comparatively pretty normal relative to, what, the 1,100 something degrees Celsius we saw in that other system, and then almost Earth-like gravity as well. So it makes some sense. And for context, remember that at the end of Mass Effect 2, we of course did blow up a mass relay in a Batarian system where the Reapers were attempting to make their arrival, and so Batarians were, in that way, the first of the major species to get hit by the Reapers, or, you know, if you want to call it that, as, you know, arguably we had a somewhat direct role to play in that as well. But then, even beyond that, the Batarians are physically the closest to that entry point where the Reapers made, so even beyond that system that we kind of just absolutely decimated, even Karshan, I think, was the first of the homeworlds to get attacked, before Earth, perhaps, even. So, the Batarians have been hit really, really hard by the Reapers, and that's why we see so many Batarian refugees on the Citadel. But that is Karshan, that is their homeworld. Like I said, I think we'll probably use our last safe scan on that. Then we have Desda, and Desda is a dwarf planet. Desda was explored in the beginnings of the Batarian space age and mined for its unusual occurrences of uranium, which was rare on Karshan. Whether the planet has been completely mined out is unclear. Accurate data on the planet was lost after a power struggle within the Batarian government. The Reaper attack has further worsened the information flow. Okay, sure. I think we scan Karshan, though, because yes, there is something here. Let's check it out. And we heard about the Pillars of Strength from a Batarian in the docks on the Citadel. And I suspect that might be what we find here. There it is. Artifacts, Pillars of Strength. Okay, so we did just do a scan. So our Reaper alertness is going to go up. It's going to fill. It is not. Okay, good. So we're at 100% assets recovered. That's great. That means we are, at least at the moment, 100% complete on Kite's Nest. So that's good stuff. We do theoretically, that means, have a few things we could turn in back at the Citadel that could be worth doing. I mean, we're probably going to have more things to turn in at the Citadel on a later occasion, so you could make the case, might as well wait and just combine all those things together and just do one super trip to the Citadel, or you can make the case you might as well do it immediately, and if you get more credits and or experience and reputation, all that stuff, then that can only help you in subsequent missions, so why not get that as soon as possible? Good question. Good question. We are kind of close to a breaking point for being able to afford some key stuffs. Let's exit real quick here. Let's see, because we did salvage a little bit of monies. I think we were on 82,000 before, now we're on 92,000 credits. So if we got some additional credits out from turning in these missions, then we potentially break the 100,000 mark. I think there are some important things that cost exactly 100,000, but the biggest stuff, I think, is at 150,000 or maybe even 175,000 credits, so I'm not sure this is going to make a big enough difference for us to do this alone. So maybe we will wait and bundle some Citadel stuff together at once, unless we want to go back and do the Arya stuff with the Blue Suns, Eclipse, and Bloodpack. I suppose that could be worth considering. The other thing that I just remembered is that we did, of course, recently bring or invite Dr. Chakwas onto the ship, so, I mean, we gotta pay her a visit, right? Presumably, she is in the Med Bay area. That she is.
Commander?
Everything okay down here, Doctor?
The Alliance team cleaned up and restocked, but it's still my old med bay. Feels like home.
Welcome back.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Good to have you back.
Let's waste no time. If I may, I'd like to examine you.
Okay, I mean, I suppose, but why?
Nothing wrong with me, is there?
No, but we should keep an eye on all those cybernetic implants Cerberus grafted into you.
Expensive stuff bringing me back.
And worth every penny. Let's just make sure everything is okay.
Alright, I suppose. Better safe than sorry. You're right.
Guess a checkup never hurts. Just no scalpel this time, Doc.
Alas, to my great disappointment, it is nothing invasive. I'm just going to run some diagnostics on your implants, and it'll take a few readings. Good.
Okay.
Your implants are showing little sign of rejection. Just keep up that positive outlook of yours, Commander, and your scars shouldn't return. That's it. You're the picture of health.
Nice. And that is a little reminder back to Mass Effect 2 when we may have basically gotten resurrected. We had scars on our face at the beginning of the game, and the way it works is such that if you go the Renegade route, those scars will actually become more pronounced, whereas if you go the Paragon route, those scars will get diminished and then eventually more or less completely disappear, and so that's what Dr. Chakwas is alluding to there. But let's see, what else can we ask you about? Because this is our first time seeing you on board. So what is the state of, start with her family, I suppose? Are they based on Earth?
You've never mentioned any of your family.
None to speak of, really. I'm the last of a prestigious line of medical professionals. The Alliance is my spouse, and you're all my children.
Oh.
I'm blessed with many close friends. But with each Alliance vessel taken, I lose one or two. We need to end this war.
It's so precious and so sad at the same time. So wholesome. Let's see, so then, you were saying earlier that you technically weren't going to be tried as a war criminal because you weren't actually associated with Cerberus, you just tagged along with us, unless you got labeled a co-conspirator with us, so yeah, where do things stand with Cerberus then?
Do you ever regret working for Cerberus?
We didn't work for them. We used them. If I were to feel anything, it would be guilt. We took their money, took their best people, took their best ship. We used them to defeat the Collectors, and now we are using their resources against them.
Yeah, but they deserve it.
So no, I don't regret it one bit.
Okay, fair enough, Dr. Chocolaws. Good call. How are supplies here?
How's our inventory of meds?
The medbay was fully stocked before you left Earth. We should be good for a long time, even given the amount of fire you take each day.
Hey, you trying to take shots at us right now? I hope not. But anyways, good to check up on you, Dr. Chocolaws, but I think that's all.
I'll see you around, Doctor.
Take care, Shepard.
Alright, good to see her. A little bit of reputation as well. Forget, is there anything back in this AI core? I mean, once upon a time, this is where we had Legion. And once upon a time where Joker fled down to unshackle Edie.